Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of this season, but I don't even know what episode it is. The first thing we're doing is changing our helmet. Why? I don't know, I fancied a helmet change. That's about the only reason there. So anyway, the 4th race of this season, we're off to the Turkish Grand Prix. I seem to remember last time this was sort of a comeback race after a poor one out in the previous round back in 2010, and I think it's going to be something similar this time after the awful race that was the Chinese Grand Prix. We're going to have to try and use Istanbul to once again come back as best we can. So, yeah, let's waste no further time and get straight into practice. So, yeah, I did a couple of runs doing one on the medium tyre here. We do a 130.5. Kobe actually absolutely stonks that immediately. And later on in the session, we do a 129.1, which it still isn't great, is it? It's still 17th, and we actually end up 18th in the practice. I don't know, the pace just wasn't there in practice today. I just couldn't keep up with, not even my teammate there. My teammate beat me very, very slightly. But here we are in qualifying on a soft compound tyre this time. And we do a 128.1, which absolutely smashes anything we did in practice by about a second. And we actually end up 3rd after qualifying. Yeah, I've absolutely raced through the practice and qualifying sessions. Not a lot happened. That was my only qualifying lap. I decided to head out there on the soft tyres and just immediately go for it. So we ended up in 3rd place. I think I maximised that lap as best I could. Couldn't have asked for much more. Could have asked for pole, of course, but I think that would be getting a bit greedy. So yeah, it's 3rd place for the race, and hopefully we can make good progress from there and win it.
Close to scoring points last race. Let's make it happen today.
Okay then, so he says we came close to scoring points. We weren't really, were we? So 5 red lights, and off we go for the Turkish Grand Prix. I'm really looking forward to seeing this coming back on the calendar in 2018. But here we go, up the outside. Oh, we've taken everyone. We've taken everyone. We've taken Alonso and Hamilton, and we're up into 1st place. And that's, well, yeah, now we've just got to try and hold on to this position, hopefully eke out a gap to the cars behind, and hopefully have a very, very boring race at the front, which means no overtakes, no excitement for you guys, but it means good news for me because I'll win the race. So that's what I'm looking to do now. And here we are on lap 2, coming towards the end of lap 2. Hamilton is trying to go up my inside there. I'm going to brake a little bit later. Hold it round the outside. He has actually gone up my inside there, but now that we've touched wheels a little bit, but hopefully I should hold on to this position. Now I've track extend just a little bit, but we've held on. Hamilton's still trying to put up a fight on this start-finish straight. He's less than a 10th behind me. We hold on going into turn 1 of lap 3. And yeah, that was a bit of a hairy moment. Vitaly Petrov's that's the fastest lap of the race, but yeah, we hold on to 1st position. Hamilton still looking to take us on, cutting to lap 5 now, and every time, on every single lap, he's tried to go down my inside there, and that's the most successful he's been. He's still hanging in there. But I've also noticed that we get up to this corner here onto the DRS straight, and they always brake. They always back off. He was only a 10th behind me going onto this straight. But then the arrows disappear. They came back briefly then, but they always brake coming onto this straight. It's really quite annoying, really, because it means I don't get a proper fight. But I don't think I'm going to go into the pits. I'm going to hold on to this position. I think I'm going to come into the pits at the end of lap 6. I think that is my scheduled stop. But as you can see, a 132 dead. You know, my tyres are starting to go, so this will be my last lap, is it? Oh, I've spun! And I've only just made it into the pits there. Well, I think the right word is spun, not span. But either way, I spun out, and we only just made it into the pits there. Very lucky not to hit the wall on the way in. But here we go, coming for the pit stop. Let's try and make it as good a pit stop as we can. Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race. We do a 4.5-second stop, so we and Hamilton will be pushing to try and make sure that his overcut strategy works. We've got to try and make sure that this outlap is as good as it can possibly be, and hopefully we'll emerge after the pit stop stages ahead of him. So yeah, so starting lap 7 now. We're down in 9th place, but of course that is only due to the pit stop stages coming around the first sector. Now we've actually gone a little bit wide here. We're not making the best use of these new tyres, and actually Buemi has caught us up in 10th place there. If we just bring up the tyres, they're absolutely ice cold. What I don't get is why the engine is ice cold as well. Why is the engine blue? I can't make sense of that in any way, but hopefully now we can warm up our tyres. Unfortunately, it was too little too late. Hamilton has actually jumped us in the pit stop stages, as you can see there. His overcut worked a treat, but the advantage I'll have on this lap now is that he'll have the cold tyres. I have nicely warmed up tyres, and hopefully I can use my extra grip there in that sense to my advantage and get past him somewhere here on lap 8. And then once again, I'll be looking to hold the effective lead of this race down. Hamilton still isn't leading at the moment. There's a few of the back markers or midfield runners who are still yet to make their stops. But here we go on the DRS straight, coming from quite far back. We're going to dive bomb him under brakes. And we executed that move to perfection. We get an achievement called Slingshot for whatever that is. But we retain the lead of the Grand Prix as Massa and Button, by the looks of it, come in for their pit stop stages. Just for their pit stops. And we set a new fastest lap, I believe, as a slightly cut turn 1 there. We'll just ignore that. Yeah, there's the new fastest lap. 128.8. One of the fastest laps I've set all weekend still. Not quite as good as my as my qualifying lap, but never mind that. I've gone a bit wide. I've allowed Hamilton in with a chance here. But I have held that together just about. Keep having a few hairy moments as the race goes on. It's less about him overtaking me as we lap Heikki Kovalainen, who actually moved over on us as we went to overtake him there. That was very cheeky of the Caterham driver. And as we come up to Timo Glock in his Marussia car, was it Marussia or was it still Virgin in 2011? I can't remember, but we're going to overtake him now coming onto the start-finish straight, as well as Narain Karthikeyan in his HRT. 3 teams that don't exist anymore, which is a shame. We are missing a few backmarker teams at the moment. I feel like we could have more drivers on the grid, but never mind that. We actually take it up into rich mix now, as we have got about 3 spare laps of fuel, and with 3 laps to go as well. There's a brief yellow flag, and look at the top left. Alonso and Vettel are now in 2nd and 3rd, so Hamilton has disappeared as we overtake a couple more backmarkers on the back straight there. But Hamilton has disappeared from the top 3, so I don't know what happened to him. He's been closely following us for the whole time. I was hoping that the backmarker stages would put a bit of distance between Hamilton and I, because the AI don't tend to be as good at overtaking the backmarkers as I am. But, well, Hamilton failed doing it. Alonso has made it through, and I haven't really gained any time in the end, so that's bad news. But we have only got 2 laps to hold out. 1 lap to hold out now as we come up to this bit on lap 17. Now 17, we actually make a bit of a mistake there. Alonso tries to go around the outside, but we hold it very nicely. Now we've just got to hold it out for the rest of this lap, and we will win the Turkish Grand Prix. So, in the end, yeah, it was a pretty dull race. You know, Hamilton and towards the back end of this, Alonso was putting pressure on me throughout pretty much the whole race. But hopefully we'll be able to hold it together coming through the final sort of bit of the race. Now through the legendary Turn 8 of Turkey, can't wait to see the newer spec cars going through there. They're going to be going through there. They're going to be flying through there at ridiculous speeds, the likes of which the world has never seen. Oh dear. So yeah, coming onto this final back straight, Alonso 4/10 behind, although they do back off coming onto the straight. As I said before, it is a fault with the AI on this game, which makes it very easy for me to hold my position coming around the final 3 turns, and we are going to win the Turkish Grand Prix. It's been a pretty easy Grand Prix. We took the lead, and apart from that little bit after the pit stops when Hamilton took it back briefly, we never really looked like losing the race, and we didn't. P1 for the Turkish Grand Prix, and a win for us and Force India.
Awesome, truly awesome. What a win.
Alonso only 3/10 behind in the end, but after the struggles of our last race in China, you know, this was an absolute walk in the park. It probably made for quite a boring viewing for you guys, but apologies for that. But it's good news for me because it means I get a nice win. Alonso in second, Vettel in third, Button and Petrov. Now, where's Hamilton? Because he was following us for most of that race, never more than a second behind. And now he's not even in the top 8. Where is he? I really don't know. I'm really confused by that. There he is in 9th place. I don't know what happened. I couldn't tell you what happened there. I don't know if he crashed, had a problem. Mark Webber didn't even finish the race, so that's been a bad day for him, especially as he was challenging for the title, as was Hamilton. Both of them dropped down many positions now. Alonso and Massa now head up the championship with me slotting in closely behind. I'm actually level on points with Hamilton now. Top 6 are all pretty close together, in fact, and then Button is having a bit of a poor season at the moment. If he wants to have a shot at the title, he's going to have to turn it round. The rest of the table looking pretty much as you'd hope. And as for the constructors, Force India are in 4th, pretty much just because of me. Ferrari heading it up, of course, with Alonso and Massa heading up the Drivers' Championship, followed by Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes rounding out the top 5, then Lotus Renault, massive gap to Sauber, and then just no one else has scored any points at all. So yeah, pretty dull race. But, you know, a win's a win, and I'm very happy to have gotten it. Finished 10th or above. You know, that was never going to be an issue, was it? As we celebrate our win by standing on our car, you know, be careful not to damage it. That's expensive equipment. You know, be careful there. Oh, and here comes... Who is that? I don't know. Looks more like Massa to me. Could be Alonso. Who knows? But Crofty wants an interview. Of course he does. I've just won.
Another victory for you and the team. So again, congratulations to you. You must be delighted with your weekend's work.
So yeah, that's actually our second win of the season. I don't want to say I did a fantastic job. That's the dickish answer. They always give you one. I think everyone worked hard, so it's a great joint effort.
Season for most of the drivers. How's it panning out for you?
Pretty damn good actually. I've noticed the AI can be quite racy, although they are a bit faulty at times.
Midnight Oil recently to make sure you've got a car that's capable of winning races. You must be happy then with the work they're putting in.
Well, there's the dickish answer there, right in the middle. I think they could do a bit more. No, I mean, they've given me a race-winning car so far, so I can't complain in the slightest. So I'm going to choose that answer there. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Like it even if you're not new. You know, I always say please like and subscribe if you're new. The if you're new bit only refers to the subscribe, because I'd like you to like the video anyway. Both in terms of how you feel about it and that button that's right beneath it. I'm really rambling at this point. I do apologise. So yeah, that was the Turkish Grand Prix. Next up is the Spanish Grand Prix, and I'll be looking to hopefully, I want to say build on this. How can you build on a win and a pole? Well, actually, it wasn't pole. I can build on it by getting pole. That's what I can do. But I will be looking to hopefully get a second win at the Spanish Grand Prix. And, yeah, thank you for watching. And hopefully I shall see you next time. Goodbye.